Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Live Inspired Podcast Monday Morning Moments with John O'Leary. I record these so that you and I can begin these days and these weeks in awe and on fire with a burst of inspiration. I'm going to begin this one with a little quiz. You ready for it? A tent in Colorado, a canoe in Georgia, a friend's couch, a church pew, an airplane seat, an ER waiting room, a classroom desk frequently. What do all these things have in common? Well, if your guess was that this is a truncated list of places that John O'Leary dozed off as a child, you are right. Turns out that regardless of where I fell asleep, though, I always had the certainty, ultimately, of going back to my house, back to my room, back to my bed. But many children do not sleep with that same certainty. When Luke Mickelson learned this reality, he began to do something about it. And what he did changed not only his life, but his entire community. I think in learning about his story, you and your community will be changed positively too. A decade ago, working as a successful leader in the small town of Twin Falls, Idaho, Luke learned of a family in need. A single mother and her young daughter had recently been housed in an apartment, but they had no money and they had no furnishings. So the child, it turns out, was sleeping on the floor. Rather than merely hearing the sad story, feeling sorry for them, and then ultimately returning to his busy life, Luke decided to make it a project for a scout troop. He bought some wood and helped the boys fabricate a bed. A group then delivered the following weekend along with a mattress, some sheets, some pillows, some blankets, and Luke assumed that was the end of it. He did his job, he served the family, he moved on. And then he learned of another family in a small town with the same issue. They had an apartment, but not enough money for a bed so their child could sleep in it. Again, Luke procured the materials, he built the bed, he purchased all the bedding. This time, Luke went and delivered it himself. As he walked in with the bed, the mother wept as the little girl retrieved her makeshift covers off the floor and laid them out on the first bed she had ever slept on. Observing this joy and how relatively easy it was to change someone else's life, Luke committed that no child would sleep on the floor in his community. In the first year, he and his organization, it's called Sleep in Heavenly Peace, procured, assembled, and delivered, no, not 2 beds, 11 beds. Since that original commitment, I hope you're sitting down or laying down, Luke's work has spread beyond his community, and beyond those 11, they have now built and delivered nearly 300,000 beds to families in need. 300,000 young people who previously were on the floor in some apartment now rest in heavenly peace. Pretty remarkable. My friends, although most of us know little of living without a bed, we all know what it feels like to struggle. We all know the pain of feeling less than others, and we all know the blessing of individuals stepping into our lives, reminding us that our lives matter, that we are seen, and that our best is yet to come. Luke started with a single bed for a 5-year-old girl in Twin Falls, Idaho, but the lesson from his life isn't to build beds necessarily. Instead, it's to uncross our arms, take action when we see a need, and make a difference for the one in front of us. It will change the world, and it will change yours. Just ask my buddy, Luke Mickelson. My friends, I want to thank you for being part of our community. I want to thank you for being part of my world. I want to thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Live Inspired Podcast, and for knowing what I know to be true, that in spite of the headwinds we face and the challenges that mount in front of us, the foundation is firm, God is still God, and the best is yet to come. So for this time, and until next time, my name is John O'Leary. Today is your day. What a gift. Live inspired.